point is, Flick, you lied to us.
No, I just...
You lied, Flick. You lied to her. You lied to the colony. You lied to me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another enthralling, exciting, enticing, taint-filled episode of the Black Tower Podcast. I am one of your semi-esteemed hosts, Andrew, the Bajan Mahal. Got to throw a little phlegm in there.
Got to get the phlegm. Otherwise, you're not speaking the old tongue. And I am your Sorovan Mochel, your storm leader. I am Josh, leading the storm.
And I am Daniel, your Amin Khan Mikhail.
Woody Harrelson on the podcast this evening.
Hey, Josh,
you, Woody Harrelson.
No, my
You're
name
not
is
Woody
Joy.
Harrelson.
My
Woody
name is
Allen.
Gil Faizan.
There you go.
There's a tropical storm kind of moving from South Carolina into North Carolina, and it's going to be raining, which means I can't ride my bike or not as freely to work. So can you lead it somewhere else?
Do you know what? I feel like this is that meme where they're like, it's who is it? Is it Phoebe and Chandler, right? And Phoebe is like giving him Joey.
Joey.
He's giving Joey one phrase at a time, and at the end she's like, "Move the storm somewhere else," and he goes, amplify the storm even more." That didn't work, so I'm going to make a meme of it and I'm going to post it.
And hope that it works eventually.
It'll work.
Well, as we found out in our Discord today, there are individuals whom are the memes that are present in the Discord help get through their day. So all the memes, all the time, Wheel of Time, and other Black Tower Podcast Discord.
I want to say
Beats.
I want to say
Bears,
specifically
Black Tower
thank you.
Podcast.
Beats Bears Black Tower Podcast. Exactly. That needs to be a shirt.
We just had another design idea.
If it just has one of the chibis with like a pair of glasses on, and then it just says Beats Bears Black Tower Podcast, that would be pretty great. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. But seriously, for this particular episode of the Black Tower Podcast, we are technically talking about something that is present throughout the whole series. It is definitely something that happens, and many members of the main sort of group, as well as secondary and tertiary members, end up being embroiled in this particular topic throughout the entire series. However, we will absolutely say that you're pretty much okay to listen to this episode if you've read everything through the end of the Great Hunt. Because that is when this particular thing makes its biggest appearance, and we actually just sort of learn the most about it. There is a little bit, again, that happens later on, which we may get into a little bit. If we do, I will absolutely make a promise to all of our listeners. You can't see it, but I have my Scouts Honor sign up. That I will absolutely make sure that we slap on another layer of protection, whether it's just a spoiler warning call out or an actual new announcement. If we go ahead and go into that other later on thing. So you're basically safe to listen to us as long as you've gotten through the Great Hunt. There may be other stuff that you're not familiar with if you haven't gotten to the end.
But before we get into that, some breaking news. Hey, Andrew, add in the breaking news sound effect here. Thank you, Andrew. Yes, I will.
Fix it in post.
We've got something fantastic for you guys.
I don't know. I was trying to do
that
the
one.
ticker. Yeah.
This
That's
special
news
report
is brought to you by the Black Tower News.
Actually, you know what? I am not going to add that in post. I'm just going to use Josh in post production.
You know what we need to do?
That is the breaking news.
I didn't actually get the ticker thing, like the breaking news. I was definitely hearing.
So we know
Morse
Daniel.
code, Daru Sandstorm.
Daniel was a rave kid, so
I wasn't, but they played that at every school.
We've
dance
established
throughout my entire
that.
school career.
And everybody lost their fucking mind.
right.
They did. Anytime it would play, everybody would be like, "Fuck yeah,
greatest song ever!"
And nobody knew any other songs by that.
I'm just gonna
It was just Dance.
I'm just gonna get it out there right now so that when you guys visit sometime soon, foreshadowing. I do have a vinyl record that is like 15 different remixes of that song.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to be fun when
Jesus
you go to listen
Christ.
to that after we've gone ahead and hung out and you can't find it anymore.
Is this Peter Griffin's "The Bird is the Word" all over again?
Okay,
Anyway.
breaking news at
Breaking
the Black
news.
Tower. Some earth-shattering news is happening. Some amazing things are happening. Andrew has a ginormously awesome thing. I have a ginormously awesome thing. Daniel, do you have a ginormously awesome thing?
I mean, I don't think that we should be comparing ginormously awesome things. But
So
I mean,
what you're
if
saying
it's
is no.
being asked,
I think
then
that's what
yes.
he's saying, Andrew. I think he's saying he doesn't have.
I'm pretty sure he's saying no, but don't let him know that we think he's
I
saying
won't.
no.
I won't.
Don't tell him.
I won't. Okay, Andrew, what's your ginormously awesome thing?
So,
He's not
You guys
allowed
remember-
to show it on the podcast.
good thing it's not video recorded.
Yet. Wait, what?
So, you guys probably remember the ever illustrious, the ever amazing folks over at Tavir and Teeth. Well, this isn't them, but
Not
it's along
them
the same
at
lines.
all.
It is not
Jesus
them.
fucking Christ.
But they are still, nevertheless, still the absolutely lovely people that did help inspire what I'm about to tell you about. And this is Tarvalon Tees.
Tarvalon. Tees.
Tees.
Tarvalon.
That was
Tees.
totally not rehearsed or planned. You can find them on Twitter at Tarvalon Tees, just as Josh, and at the end I helped spell it out. You can also find an absolutely incredible Wheel of Time inspired shop by going to tarvalontees.com. But wait, it's not just awesome because they're named Tarvalon Tees and they do Wheel of Time inspired stuff. They created a discount code just for us and our fans. That's right.
But wait, there's more.
You can get 15% off your order by using the code BLACKTOWER, capital B, lowercase LACK, capital TWR. So, short and form of tower, all caps.
Twir.
Yeah. You can use that discount code on their shop and get 15% off your order. And they have some absolutely phenomenally, orgasmically amazing stuff.
Wait, how much percent? Say that very carefully and very clearly.
15.
15.
The numerals 15.
Just to make,
Full
I just
zig.
wanted to make. I didn't
Off
want
the-
anybody to be like, I didn't get 50% off. No, it's not 50. It is 15, which is still awesome. And tell them that the Black Tower sent you.
And even more awesome, this code, as of this point, as of this recording, does not expire.
Boom.
So if you're waiting to get paid this Friday, next Friday, the Friday after next, anybody get that reference?
I missed it.
You've never seen Friday or next Friday or the Friday
I
after next?
actually have not.
Oh, dude.
No more locked doors.
90s classic. 90s classic.
Anyway,
All right,
you can
Creed.
use that. You can use that
All right,
discount code,
Creed.
and you can get some dope fucking merchandise.
They are super
And we
cool.
can 100% confirm that the discount code works because not one, but at least two of us, and soon to be three, I imagine,
Oh, yeah.
have placed orders.
So, just to give
They've
you...
got some amazing stuff. If you need a face mask, they sell a 3-pack of face masks. If you need to let everybody know Tarmangaiden is coming, they've got a shirt for that. If you've got a badge or a bag and an idea, they've got a shirt for that. If you're Perrin and you're forging in the Edmund Fields Forge and Smithy, they got one for that. If you like to rock out with your Matt Cock out, they've got a shirt for that. That the band is getting back together. And if you're one of those,
which is just FYI, the one that Daniel got.
I mean, because it's awesome.
I got the Tarmangaiden is coming shirt in red.
Oh, you got
for all the blood that shall be shed.
Nice.
I also got for those calf drinkers. They have a mug that says calf, but they also have a fantastic Tashar Manethrin mug with the red eagle on it. And you can get it in an 11 ounce or 15 ounce. And your boy here got the 15 ounce because I got Death Wish coffee at work and I need more than one cup can handle.
Go big or go home.
They've got a ton of amazing stuff there. If you've always wanted to become a Tar Valon witch, Aes Sedai, and you feel like you're in the accepted range of that, they've got accepted shirts. They've got shirts that are inspired by the different Ajas, obviously not directly representative because that is copyright protected by Team Jordan and the estate of Robert Jordan, but you can get these shirts in multitude colors. Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
But you can get shirts that will symbolize and tell everyone who you are. Things like keep calm and bond of order, or keep calm and uphold tower law, keep calm and negotiate. Or, for those of you that feel a little bit more dark-sided, keep calm and serve the great Lord.
I mean,
they've got amazing stuff, guys. Seriously.
Keep chaos and serve the great Lord.
Yeah, keep chaos.
What did I say?
You said keep calm.
You said keep calm.
You fucked up, Ron.
I did.
I mean, to be fair, Josh, in our Discord right now, we are talking to some of our friends, and you posted a particular meme of Phoebe and Joey, and you fucked that up.
What? I didn't fuck it up.
The first 3 pictures, they should be all saying the exact same thing. And then the last one, they repeat what they said. And Joey gets it right.
Split your hair.
But is it really a plug from Andrew? Is it really a plug from Andrew if I don't fuck up at least one word?
You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right.
No.
I mean, that's why we embrace the taint.
That is an authentic Andrew Black Tower podcast. Plug, shout out, whatever you want to call it. Go seriously. Check out tarvalontees.com. Use discount code Black Tower. Again, that's BLACKTWR. The B, the T, the W, and the R are all capitalized. Hopefully that makes sense. If not,
we will actually
go to Podbean.
Look on the episode. Just FYI, it is not actually case sensitive, so if you forget which one of those is true, you don't need to worry about it.
Oh shit!
We will post this.
Yeah,
BLKTWR.
We will post this in our Discord, and who knows, maybe later we'll post it on Twitter too.
We'll put it in the episode description.
It's probably going to happen on Twitter as well.
Episode description.
You can find it if you look hard enough for it, though I don't know if Honey will pick it up or not. But go check them out. Go show some love. Go follow them on Twitter and say, hey, found you guys through listening to the Black Tower podcast. Just wanted to say hi. Love your shirts. I will keep chaos and serve the Dark Lord.
As best as you can, anyway.
Keep chow.
Or the Great One. Serve the Great One.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. So, for real. So, thank you. For real, guys. Go check them out. Tar Valon Tees. Tar Valon Tees. Not Taviran Tees, which was also a great company. Tar Valon Tees. Okay, go check them out. They're amazing.
There is the potential that there will be Oshaman style stuff in the future. Possibly. Can't guarantee, but the idea has been tossed out there to them. And if you have any feedback for them for stuff you'd like to see, things you'd like to see different variations of, definitely tweet at them. Let them know, hey, love your stuff. Any chance we could get this or that. Now, with that, when you go to their site, you'll see it right now. Because of the giant McAsshole that is COVID, their fulfillment is taking longer than usual. They're saying as long as up to 20 days or so, be understanding. A lot of people are struggling with supplies. Even Samsung's having to not commit to releasing the Galaxy S20 Note with the processor they wanted because of COVID. So, or at least last.
So it's hurting everybody. It's affecting everybody.
Understand that. But give them plenty of backlog work. Go out, Get yourself some dope ass shirts, some dope ass mugs, some dope ass tank tops, whatever you can find. And just show them all the love that the Wheel of Time has throughout the entire fandom.
Indeed. Because we're all about the love.
On to the episode.
Actually, I've got a plug too. I'm serious when I say I have a ginormic thing I want to share with everybody.
Oh, shit. I thought you were just making a joke. My apologies.
I definitely want to share my ginormous thing.
I concede the Black Tower stage to you, Sorvan.
Thank you, Daes, for that. And just to piggyback on that, I couldn't resist. I hate that shit. When you're having a briefing or a meeting and someone's like, and just to piggyback on what he said, shut the fuck up! We already heard it.
If you're a vet, that's immediate flashbacks.
That's some PTSD-inducing bullshit right there. Anyway.
That is some dog with some cupcakes shit.
Yes, 1,000-yard stare. So, just so you guys know, you've seen it coming. You've seen it happening this whole time. The hashtag What Fandom Championship bracket. I have to plug this early on because I'm going to make a gigantic announcement right now that only our live people get to hear in advance. See, you people listening on Friday, you're already going to know this because you will have seen it on Twitter. But my peeps listening now get to hear it now, and they get to go to sleep tonight like Santa Claus is coming. They get to go to sleep tonight waiting for something exciting to happen in the morning. Okay? So here's what's happening. So as you all know, the championship bracket is going strong. As of this moment, we have gone from almost 100 name suggestions down to 8. The 8 that are in competition right now are Dragonsworn, Watchers, People of the Dragon, Band of the Red Hand, The Chosen, Loyalists, Watt Fam, and Fan Dae'mar. Now, all of these I think are amazing choices. And I've heard a lot of people, going, oh, curses, the amazing choices that we have to go against. And I personally take that as a good thing. I think that's a good sign because that means we basically only have good choices left. I think a lot of the lesser choices were weeded out early, yada, yada, yada. Anyway. The important thing is the ginormous announcement thing that's coming is you guys have known that we have been asking other content creators to host the different rounds for us in order to get as many people involved as possible. Because at the Black Tower, all are welcome. We want everyone to come and share their love with us and with each other about the Wheel of Time. We love it. We love you. We're going to stand, hold hands. And we're not going to sing Kumbaya because Kumbaya sucks. We are going to have our bard sing us some awesome songs. We're going to have some Liquid Taint. It's going to be a good time. But here's the announcement. Today, Tarvalin.net closed off round 4, which gave us our competitors for round 5. Tomorrow, round 5 goes live. And the entity that we have hosting round 5 is, drum roll please, Dragonmount.com. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dragonmount themselves are hosting the round 5 Elite 8 of our What Fandom Championship bracket. I can't tell you how excited this makes me. I can't tell you how awesome these guys are. Tarvalin.net, they were amazing to work with. They were super cool, super awesome, and super excited to help us establish a fan-originated fandom name that we can own and we can say the fans came up with this. We love it. We're great. And guess what? Dragonmount too, equally excited. They expressed excitement in being able to participate in this. They're super stoked to get involved in this, and I'm super excited to have them with us. So if you haven't seen it, look up the hashtag WattFandom, and you can see all the progress we've made. Tomorrow morning, the next round should be posted buy Dragon Mount. So go ahead and get Dragon Mount on your radar tomorrow morning and watch for the next round of the Watt Fandom Championship bracket to be posted, because it's amazing. They're amazing. You're amazing. And we're super honored and super humbled to have all of you here with us. That is the end of my ginormous thing that I'm sharing. Now we can, you know what, Daniel, you can share your ginormous thing by introducing us and starting us off in the episode tonight.
Cool. I feel so honored about my interesting thing that's just all of our interesting thing.
I mean, you could do the drop the taint thing if you want.
Drop the taint. Jigga, 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 drop the taint.
Drop the taint.
Yeah, drop the taint in the sink.
Yeah.
Funny
talked
stories.
about it earlier.
No, I'm aware. I'm just trying to figure out how to introduce that in a dope ass awesome way, yo.
Not like that.
No, so there was a lovely occurrence that Andrew had happen earlier that had him think of this super fun sort of challenge. It's not really a challenge, but it is a. You know how Jimmy Fallon has the Tonight Show hashtags? Well, we thought that it would be fun to start coming up with some Black Tower hashtags that y'all could provide some fun stories, and we could engage with you mo better on Twitter. And so, as you are aware, here at the Black Tower, we call alcohol taint. Or madness, because it makes us do stupid things like madness or taint. And we thought it would be super fun for you guys to tell us, and I think each of us will go ahead and put something out there as well as far as these hashtags are concerned. What was the way that you put it, Andrew? You actually put it really well of what we're looking for here, like what the stories should entail.
Yeah, so to include anybody that maybe doesn't have funny stories. So the first idea is funny stories relating to your experiences with the Wheel of Time. Be it funny stories about things that have happened on Twitter, funny stories that have happened by you reading the books, but so that anybody that doesn't have any of that or can't think of anything like that isn't left out, what you feel are some of the funniest scenes from the books.
I like it. Yeah. Basically, we're trying to, we want to get some real life Watt humor in here, if you will. Because Robert Jordan did a great job of giving us some funny stories and funny playoffs and whatnot in the books, and we would like to go ahead and enter in our own fun situations and stories and whatnot. So if you have an experience that you sort of had through the books, caused by the books, the funniest scenes in the books, all of that, go ahead and tweet at us at Tower Podcast with the hashtag I dropped my taint. That would be the hashtag. I dropped my taint. In the sink?
I think smaller
in the
hashtags
sink
are better.
or not in the sink?
I like
Drop
I
my
just
taint.
I just dropped my
Okay,
taint.
all right, yeah, fair enough. I think that's good.
I dropped my taint, and then drop in your tweet into our profile, I guess, with your funny stories, because we'd love them and we will enjoy them. And then if there are actually enough of them, and if there are some really funny stories, which I bet there will be, then some of our favorites might make it into the next episode, or even episodes further beyond that.
It's a mystery. We may never know.
We may never know. Anyway, so now that I've dropped in our wonderful, fun news, let's go ahead and
can we do the episode
start
now?
our episode.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, we can do the episode now. So, some of you who are actually long-time Black Tower listeners might actually be aware that the Black Tower has talked about this particular topic before, but fortunately for Andrew and unfortunately for the other two of us, we were not on that episode. That was an earlier episode with 1/3 of the current hosts. So we thought we'd bring it back around and talk about one of the more interesting topics and one of my personal favorites. I can't speak for anybody else. But one of my personal favorites in the books, which is the game Daes Dae'mar, the game of houses. The nobility and, of course, even the peasants in Carrion play it with their eyes closed and in their sleep. But of course, as we learn in the books, more than just Carrion and play the game of houses. Some of them just call it other things.
I mean, just by not knowing you're playing Daes Dae'mar, you're playing it.
Exactly. Oh, fuck. I just lost the game.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Well,
Tom,
the fun thing about Daes Dae'mar is that they say that Carrion play it in their sleep, but they also say that Aes Sedai invented the great game. And I'm even going to go further out on a limb, and I'm going to say that George R.R. Martin was inspired by the great game of houses to write his Game of Thrones. And now, before y'all going to come and at me, okay, I'm going to point this out to you right now. Daes Dae'mar was released prior to any Game of Thrones books being written and released. So,
it's funny. I'm just going to throw out there that I recognize that this is an episodic structure, and therefore we do have to on occasion repeat ourselves. But I think I've heard you make that literal announcement.
What? It's almost like I'm
few
biased
times on this show.
It's almost like I prefer
Almost.
the Wheel of Time to Game of Thrones.
It's almost like something legitimately.
It is almost like that.
What? What?
No, but seriously,
there is no discussion here. Thronies.
That's what you're going to call them?
That's what I'm going to call them. Thronies.
Yeah, they actually just get dressed up in like furry costumes that are.
Isn't that Scalies?
And they go to conventions and fuck each other. No. But this is specifically Game of Thrones dragons. No, that's
if you're a reptilian,
Jesus Christ,
if you're reptilian,
get your fandoms together.
And a furry, they call them Scalies.
Yes, but this is a very specific subset of that. Where
are you saying
that
as
Game of Thrones?
All Game of Thrones furries are Scalies, but not all Scalies are Game of Thrones furries?
That is actually sort of what I'm saying, but I'm also saying that I don't know enough about furry culture to say whether furry culture would allow for Thronies. I'm also not sure that Thronies would consider themselves furries. Also, I made this whole thing up, so there's actually no rules.
Meaning?
I would not be surprised at all if somebody had already thought of this, but I don't think it's a thing enough to actually
in the great Game of Houses,
well.
Daes Dae'mar. This is something that the Carrion do in their sleep, but it's something that every kingdom, except for the Borderlands, maybe? I don't know. They ain't nobody in the Borderlands got time for that shit. Okay?
Nobody in the
They fighting off the blight. They're like, okay, look, if I can't kill you with a sword, I don't want to talk to you. I just don't. So, okay, cute, Game of Houses, go away. And they go back to holding the blight back, which is awesome. And they're badasses for doing that.
Yarp.
But everybody else is all like, oh, Game of Houses, maneuvering, political intrigue. This is where most of the political intrigue comes in the series. You've got, these people that are,
Correct.
oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. And it's all a series of maneuvers that are based around gaining political advantage. Now, in the beginning, when you get to Carrion for the first time, I believe in the Great Hunt, Book 2, you get your first introduction to the Great Game of Houses. In this particular case, it's kind of a low-level character who is Julian Sandar giving advice to Rand, who is a level 1 character who can't Daes Dae'mar. He has no idea what it is, has no idea how to maneuver these currents.
No, to be fair, I actually consider in this particular book, Rand is actually unleveled. He is a peasant, and he he turns into an adventurer.
This is where he starts to come into his own. So I'll give you that.
Yes. Because we all know that you aren't born an adventurer. There's an inciting incident.
You must overcome.
Sends you off on your adventures. And most people think it's Winter Night, but nah. For Rand, it's
it's the baptism by fire.
Obviously, it's
but he gets this sort of crash course.
Baptism by fire because he throws the letters in fire. And
so he gets this sort of like crash course, baptism by fire of. You've got to be careful what you do here. And you can't just be all stupid, wool-headed sheep farmer. You can't do that right now. You can't. You're in Carrion and they play this game and you can't not play the game. And he's like, screw you and your stupid game. He goes into the common room. He's like, I'm not playing your damn game. And Julian like laughs at him and is like, yeah, you're playing. You've been playing. You don't even know. Now they think you're either really stupid or brilliant right now. And he's got the Taviran luck.
And of course, my favorite part is that the answer is really stupid.
It's his Taviran nature that helps him out a lot here, right? So he's been rejecting and or incinerating each. So he shows up with like fine cutted coats because people in Saldea think he's a lord, so they start dressing him and treating him as a lord. And he shows up and Carrion's like, oh, hey, we've got this young lord here. We should be nice to him and see, what's going on. So, but don't be too desperate. Some of the lesser skilled players of the great games, they send him messages instantly. They're like, and everybody's expecting him to reject those. So everybody's like, okay, so he's a skilled player. And then you get the more powerful houses that are sending him invitations and they're like, ooh, let's see what he does. And he still rejects them, but he rejects them so fiercely that they're like, okay, who is this kid? Because only an amazing player, only a devious genius would be so bold as to burn our invitations. And then eventually it comes down to the king of Carrion. And then what was it? Colaver? No, Colaver was in Andor.
No.
Who was... Is it in Carrion? I don't know.
No,
it's one of the other houses in Carrion that's like, it's not important who it was specifically. What's important is... this is how it works. This is
Black Tower Podcast.
All up in my face right now. No, but what it is the king sends him an invite, and then the other person who's like maneuvering, who's the closest to maneuvering their way on the throne and the biggest threat. So basically you've got number 1 in the kingdom and number 2 in the kingdom that finally they hold out till the very end and they send invites to Rand at the same time. And Rand is like, I'm going to burn these too. And then Julian's like, that's a really bad idea. Like, the fact that you haven't been assassinated already is miraculous. So maybe...
So
there
it's,
you go.
Lord Barthanes
Yeah. Lord
was
Barthanes
the number 2 and the
Yes.
king.
and Galdrian.
And so
Yeah.
which is the name of
what
the
happens then is Rand is like,
King Galdrian. King Galdrian.
What a fucking name. What a fucking name. Galdrian Su Ryten Re.
King Galdrian.
But it is notable. You know who he's king after, right? You know who was the king before him?
Who dat?
Llama.
Laman Damondred. Lama, get away from my
Here's
desert
a llama,
horse.
there's a llama, and another little llama. Funny llama, fuzzy llama, duck. Wait, what? New phone, who dis? I just went there. Yeah,
What
llama,
the
llama,
fuck?
duck.
Did you just say
Have you never
duck?
heard that
You
song?
fucking
Yeah.
cuck.
Duck.
Dude, the video is lit.
Have you never
It's
seen
fire.
that? Oh my god! Don't. Just don't.
I feel like I've
So
heard-
then
I feel like
Rand
I've heard it,
decides
but I haven't seen
he
it.
asks Julian.
Listen, Daniel, if we were done with things as many times as you were done with me,
So-
I swear to God. We'd be
Dude,
more
why do you
done
not
with the
think I'm
Ottoman
dating
Empire.
anyone?
Dunyan rings.
Why don't you think I'm dating anyone?
I thought it was
They
because
do like one thing, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm leaving.
I'm single. You're single. That doesn't have to be anything weird. By the time we're 50, just for
Hey,
benefits and tax purposes.
why wait?
You can see
Why
whoever
not,
you
you
want.
know, 30? Come on, guys.
Because there's still a chance. All right, I'm still young enough to use Tinder. All right, there's still a chance.
A chance for you, maybe.
Daniel,
You're not
you're a
that much
handsome
older
boy,
than
okay?
Listen, they're gonna get one look
They'll
at
be
your
like,
dragon
oh,
banner and be all
Yeah,
over
my
it.
up?
mom.
Just like Heroes of the
Aman Khan
Horn.
Mahale.
We're following
How
that
you
guy.
Okay.
So Rand is like, okay, I got these 2 invites. What should I do?
Okay,
Because
how
I don't
about
want to accept them, but I don't want to burn them, apparently, because if I burn them, I'll get killed. And then Julian's like, maybe like walk around and show them. It's not.
By the way, this is incorrect. It is not Julian who's
Oh
with
shit!
him. It is her.
Julian. Oh my
Hurin
god,
is
Julian
with
is
him.
the other thief.
The other thief catcher.
Son of a bitch.
Julian is in the Stone of Tyr, and he gets
you know what?
made.
I knew
or
that.
He gets met.
I knew that. I
far
was just seeing if you
after
guys are
this.
paying attention.
It is Hurin.
Daniel, you win points. Andrew, you suck.
Yep. Totally. What?
To be fair, I was also.
He was in the middle of saying those words when I actually finished them.
To be fair, I was actually also
I mean,
placing a
you know.
DoorDash order. So
Got to get that good.
Ew.
look, okay, fucking
Gotta get
Postmates,
that.
Gotta get
Postmates,
that.
and Uber Eats don't deliver. Where
Gotta
I live
get
now.
that.
Boom, boom.
Gotta get
Boom, boom,
that.
So
But
Rand is like,
anywho.
fine. What if I take these to the common room and be like, look, I haven't accepted him and I haven't thrown him away. I'm going to put him in my pocket. And Hurin is like, that's not bad. And this turns out to be one of those like super lucky scenarios for Rand. So he does. He goes in and he's like, oh, I'm in the common room. And look, I have these 2 letters. Wonder what I should do with them. Puts them in his pocket and like pieces out like ain't nothing happening. So why do we bring this up? Why is this a thing? Because
Ain't no party
what's
like a
important here is
Rand
you
Althor
understand that
party.
these people, they do the political maneuverings. Okay. It's all about the political maneuverings. It's all about who can vie for power. And if they can find someone who can give them the edge, like Galdrian's like, hey, there's a young lordling staying at that inn. I wonder if I could get him on my side. What are his intentions?
King Galdrian here, asking once again for your financial support.
asking for your financial support. I love it. You know what, dude?
That's a terrible
I
Bernie
don't-
Sanders. That is one of the worst Bernie Sanders.
Bernie
Thank
Sanders
you.
is a terrible
Thank
Bernie
you.
Sanders impression. All right, that is not a political
My
stance.
name is King Galdrian, and
was
I
pretty
am
good.
once again asking for your lordling support.
We just need to start sending Daniel direct messages so he can use his actor voice to
We
fucking
could have like
make
call-ins on the
impersonations
show.
and shit.
Wait, hold
It's
on.
Like, hey,
We
can
could
you
have call-ins
impersonate
on the
so-and-so?
show? Okay, Daniel, I want King Galdrian to call in here in just a couple minutes. Okay, just random.
Oh my! Would you look at that? Fucking Lord Barthes just stepped through a gateway in my house. I don't know how it happened. What do you have to say about Rand's letters?
I think the boy is crazy. He's for the 1%, not the 99. I don't support him. He's like
How
crazy.
many houses do you have, Galdrian? Just curious.
He's like Pete Buttigieg. He has more than I know. I don't know the answer to that question right now.
To be fair, I intentionally said Lord I forgot his name. Barthanes. I didn't.
Barthanes?
Barthanes.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to say it.
Barthanes.
I intentionally said that, but I do love the fact that you guys stuck with the king. It says a lot about where your alliances lie.
Oh, see, Andrew's playing the game of houses already. He's analyzing everything we say to our detriment.
I mean, to be fair,
but-
Daes Dae'mar is a lot like being like someone that studies like politics, right? Somebody like a political scientist, you would say, that doesn't get a science degree because it's not an accredited science. As I say, as I have a degree in poli-sci. It is not a true science. It's just a study. Just because I have good friends that are engineers and they get mad. And they have corrupted me and intimidated me, and I am being held at gunpoint to say this. I'm just kidding. But, I mean, it's so much like, every time...
To all those men in Andrew's house right now who have guns to his head, stop
guns?
it.
All you hear is a
Get out of
gunshot. All you
Do
hear is
not
one
belong
loud
there.
boom. And then, today we gather in the fields of the Black Tower outside of Camelin to honor the memory of our battle leader, Andrew, who succumbed to multiple gunshot wounds because he could not weave flows of air fast enough. But I love reading.
Gunfire is what brings us together.
You wait until my friend in Rome hears about this transgression, Mr. Biggest Dickish. But, I love reading the chapters where this stuff happens. And so you don't study poli-sci because you're forced to. Well, you might be if you want to go into law school because that's one of the many gateways into it. Unless you're fucking Kim Kardashian and live in California.
Sorry, poli-sci is a gateway
Actually, it
to
is
lawyer.
legit. Most of the people that study poli-sci at USC, University of South Carolina, the real USC, the original USC, early 1800s, 1806, I believe. Suck it, California. No offense to you, Daniel. You don't have to suck it. You're exempt from the rule.
You're exempt from sucking it, Daniel.
But yeah, most of them they finish a poli-sci degree and they go on to graduate school for law school. But if you're in California, I found it today because we had a very interesting discussion about Kim Kardashian becoming a lawyer at work today, because that's what we do instead of doing IT support tickets. That I found out today that in California, you do not have to have a law degree to take the bar exam.
No,
which is
you just
which is
pass
terrifying from an expertise standpoint, but also enticing from I don't have to pay and going into immeasurable debt to be a lawyer in California. There's a lot of political ramifications. Anyway, original point. My concentrations in study were in foreign policy and political theory. So when I read things about Daes Dae'mar and see how it's played and stuff, it triggers, I don't want to say triggers because it's not a bad thing, but it activates every brain receptor I have for political theory.
Right.
Because when you read people like Jean Locke, Thomas Hobbes, Niccolo Machiavelli, those kind of figures, that's what they're doing. They are playing a political game. Machiavelli's entire... what was it called? Why did I just blank on the name of Machiavelli's work?
Oh, it's
The Prince. There we go.
Yes.
There's so much. He wrote The Prince.
You wrote Le Petit Prince?
Yes, he did. It's a fantastic book, and I have it here somewhere. I just don't have a bookshelf to put it on display because it's in a fancy cover. Anyway, it was all there's so much discussion about whether he was refusing a job for the lord of the city-state that he was in at the time, whether he was writing a letter of admiration for the lord's father, or if it was a job application to work with the lord then. And when you look through those things, certain things become absolutely hilarious. And I feel like people that are well versed, like people like Moraine and Tom, and eventually Rand himself, that are versed in Daes Dae'mar, sorry. I just feel like that's the way they look at a lot of the stuff that happens. Like, I could just picture myself looking at letters and being like, I could burn them, I could open them, or I could leave them unopened. And the king and the lord may think that I'm applying for a job, or they think I'm calling them fucktards.
Right.
And I don't care what they say. Or they think that I'm just honoring them by feeling too overwhelmed to open their letters.
I feel like the Game of Houses...
And on a political level, it's incredibly exciting, and I have such a poli-sci boner for it.
Yeah. I feel like the Game of Houses can be summed up with one word. Ambiguity. The more ambiguous you are...
bullshit, honestly.
The more ambiguous you are, the more skilled you are at the Game of Houses. Right? So, but I guess that's half of the game, right? Because you don't want people to know what you're doing. So you've got to be ambiguous. Right.
Well, yeah, but you actually do have to make decisions, because if you're this is the problem. This is American politics right here, not modern American politics, but this is Hamilton era politics right now. Thomas Jefferson wins the election because they think that Aaron Burr is too wishy-washy, not because he's actually not because they're impressed with his ambiguity, but because his ambiguity is seen as a flaw. But he is also considered a less extreme version of Thomas Jefferson, which is why he almost wins.
Right.
So you can't actually go ahead and commit to anything, but you also have to commit to stuff. Because if you never really commit to anything, then nobody can tell you that you're too extreme. But you do actually have to commit to things, or nobody will believe you'll get anything done.
You know how happy you just made me. I just had a knowledge-gasm.
What?
Well, what was it? There was a musical about drafting the Declaration of Independence. And I cannot remember what it is.
To be
Is
fair,
that what
there's
it
a
is?
musical about everything.
1776.
And at one point in time...
YouTube.com.
It's called
at one point in time, they're talking about, a vote. And, it's like, New York abstains. That's it. Broadway musical. That's it right there. And someone at one point, New York abstains. And someone else jumps up and like, New York always abstains. And the funny thing is like New York was like the swing vote, right? There was an odd number of places, and the colonies were divided down the line, and what they needed was New York to make the decision. And because New York didn't ever want to be the guy to make the decision, New York would abstain from the vote. That's right.
You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play when the chips are down.
Thanos dusts.
Everything that's special about you came from a bottle.
Oh, so good.
So, 2 comments. The first one,
Playboy
I just watched a
philanthropist?
very short snippet from the 1776 entitled 1776 Sit Down John. I mean, it's not the name of the musical, but it's the clip.
Yes.
So that made me laugh. The second, have you seen the What Are You Without the
And in
Suit
fact,
thing with Batman?
What?
oh, I haven't.
Wait.
I'm imagining it as someone asks Batman the same question as gets asked to Tony. They go, rich guy in a fancy suit. You take that away, what are you? And he responds, Andrew.
Oh, he's looking it up. I mean, if we're going to be honest, Batman and Iron Man are
in
the
fact,
same character.
funny story, in the musical of Hamilton,
they're
not the same character.
A little bit, they are.
They're not. You take that back right now.
Both genius.
They have similarities, but they are
their money
incredibly different. But okay,
engineer super gadgetry that allows them to behave as if they had superpowers.
I'm gonna let it slide that you just said that out of your human.
I'm gonna post it as a poll right now.
And that's where their similarities end. I don't care about your polls. You can do whatever it is you would like, Josh. And at the end of the day, the only person who cares is you. But in the musical Hamilton, there's actually a reference to the musical 1776, because during the cabinet battle, the first cabinet battle where Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton are arguing with each other in the form of a rap battle, which is fantastic, by the way. And if any of you has more musical talent than me, which will probably be a lot of you, if one of you wants to go ahead and write a cabinet battle where Logain and Mazrim Taim are fighting in a rap battle against each other, I will absolutely perform it with you, no questions asked, and we can post it everywhere, because it's fantastic. But anyway, in the cabinet battle, at one point, one of Hamilton's lines is, "Sit down, John, you fat motherfucker." And it's hilarious, because if you actually are familiar with 1776 and Sit Down, John, it is a directly ripped reference. And it's great. It's fantastic. In fact, there's a lot of them around that particular time in that musical. Anyway.
So that political maneuvering is not only is it a part of our world, but it's a part of, I feel like as though, even though I'm not usually a fan of political intrigue, I feel like in order to have a compelling world, a world that is built in a really nice way, I feel like you almost have to have some type of Daes Dae'mar.
I don't think it's just
your element.
I mean, it fits with the definition of a well-built world, because a well-built world, at least to me, includes. Yes. How do I say this? So, if you want to have a well-rounded world, and you're building a world in a fantasy world, but you have to have a certain combination of fantasy and reality. So, obviously, we get the fantasy from the worldwide accepted idea of reincarnation, or mostly worldwide accepted idea of reincarnation of at least certain souls, which is not something that we have now. But you also have even, the obvious stark example of people that can use magic. Yes, we have magicians, but no, they don't go to an academy.
No, I know that what Stark does may
Avengers?
seem like magic, but it's actually just science.
Oh, I'm fucking dumb.
We were.
Oh, God.
But you said the stark difference of never mind.
I give up. I quit. No.
I love you.
But I mean, never stop, never
Don't
stopping.
do it.
I like it.
Never stop, never stopping.
But you have that, but then you have Robert Jordan does such an amazing job of including this is a theme of the whole series, right? Balance. There's such a balance of realism, shit that we would expect, at least from that time period, to fantasy, that it's literally genius level. Like, it's incredible, because not coming from the book perspective, but the pure movie perspective of Lord of the Rings, there's a far heavier balance towards realism than there is fantasy if you take out the existence of different races like orcs and elves. If you include that, then it's far more balanced. But if you don't include that, and it's just different people, different nations going to war. I had to stop for a second. Somebody's pouring liquid, and I thought somebody was pissing in a toilet for a second. I was like, the Black Tower podcast has reached a new level of don't give a fuck.
No, it's me.
I mean, to be fair,
we're talking about realism.
On the level of
I had a professor in college that did that. He had a wireless mic or like a lapel mic or whatever, and he thought he muted it when he went to the restroom. So we all got 10 points extra credit that day for having to listen to him piss. Anyway,
Oops. For a hot mic.
Have you guys not actually? There was very recently, because the Supreme Court is hearing arguments via phone instead of in person, that there was somebody who was at their house going ahead and a lawyer doing an argument for the Supreme Court was on his phone making the argument.
I mean,
and all of a sudden you hear a flush.
It is a lawyer. So
What?
Yeah, this happened. I'm not kidding. This is actual
I'll respect
thing
the
that happened.
lawyers that
It
listen
went
to us, because
all
obviously
around
we've already cited us for
late
several
night
criminal
stuff.
infractions. But,
Not too long ago. It was
like establishing our
2
own
weeks
separate
ago.
country-esque property in the sovereign nation of
Yeah,
Andor.
right.
But I don't know, whether it was the exact topic.
The injunction
Whether it was
will be
the
on
actual
your
direct
desk
topic
within
conversation
the
or not, like, it at
fortnight.
least makes you think, like, just the balance that we have in the Wheel of Time of realism and fantasy is just astounding. Because we get to see that the technological advancement all the way back into where humanity has probably nuked itself back into its primal state, but there was no breaking. It was just nukes. Come to find out, everybody that's gone mad just has like radiation sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, continue.
That's right. That's right. No, the cool thing is that Rand uses, and I don't want to get into specific examples because I don't want to give too much away. I wanted to keep it a relatively spoiler safe episode. But Rand uses Daes Dae'mar, and even Tom, helps Rand and uses Daes Dae'mar to great effect. And there's a lot of and I think this is part of what sets the Wheel of Time apart from most fantasy series, is that Rand, when you get a fantasy series, you expect the hero to come in with a sword and some magic and an army and roar, and they start, killing things, and it's a battle, and everything's a battle. But Robert Jordan does an amazing job of portraying a group of people that understand that the battle is not always with a sword in your hand and a Trolloc army upon you. Robert Jordan did an amazing job of showing a world of people who do not agree, who do not get along. And so Moraine and Tom are like giving Rand as much, lesson,
they are a
and
political powerhouse
teaching and
together.
training and Daes Dae'mar as much as they can.
You've already seen
because they know who he is.
You've already, by the end of the Great Hunt, you've definitely already seen what happens in Stone of Tear. Oh shit!
Yeah,
I have my book order.
Not, but okay.
So, quick spoiler warning
for
those of you that were listening,
because at the end of
the Great Hunt, because Andrew doesn't know the order of the fucking books the whole podcast is built upon, even though it's literally right in front of me right now.
Happened.
One day, look, I've never actually read the series. I just Google everything.
Someday he'll learn.
How fucked would
one day?
How fucked would that be? How fucked would that be if I had never read the series and was literally going off of the watt.fandom.com wiki? That would be... That's like Wheel of Time Gate.
Honestly, to be completely honest, if it was Josh or myself, it wouldn't be that crazy. Like, it would be annoying.
I assure you, I have read the series. I'm just really bad at remembering book orders.
Yeah, it'd be like you murdered someone.
But that's a prequel that literally is denoted by the Roman numeral 0.
Someday.
Anyway, so quick spoiler warning: if you have not read through, shut up.
As if numeral 0.
If you have not read through The Dragon Reborn, skip forward like maybe 5 minutes and cautiously work your way back, because it probably won't take 5 minutes because I never last that long anyway. But self burn, those are rare.
Heyo.
Anyway, so in
Heyo.
the Dragon Reborn,
There's
again,
Brooklyn
spoiler,
Nine-Nine
I'm
reference.
serious. I'm going to talk about
That's
it.
what we do.
You get to see the power couple in terms of like politicalness, all right? I mean that purely politically, all right? Of Tom and Moraine helping Rand using Daes Dae'mar independently. They're not even like working together. They're doing it independently. And you get to see an instance, they always say the pen is mightier than the sword, which is somewhat ironic because some of the more I bet you will.
Yes, I'll take the
But I mean,
Penis
so
right.
you get to see this thing, like a true instance
You're
of a pen
sitting
being
on a
mightier
gold
than the
mine,
sword
Trebek.
from what they do. I think this is what I was thinking about when we were talking about how far our spoiler warning should go. And I think I was thinking more of like through the Dragon Reborn, specifically because of the Stone of Tyr. Because I think it's such a pivotal and iconic use of Daes Dae'mar.
That's fair. That's fair because there's some very powerful there's some pretty powerful political.
Yeah, I think
my
it's
god, pretty
the
powerful
initial
political
encounter
maneuverings
that Rand
in the
has
Stone
in
of
the Great
Tyr.
Hunt
Jesus,
with Daes
Betty
Dae'mar.
Potter, better.
Daes Dae'mar. Or fucking pronunciations. No, I'm going to use both. Okay, look, I'm a strong, independent English user, and I can pronounce things however I want.
Daes Dae'mar.
Daes Dae'mar.
Daes Dae'mar.
But who's to say that the pronunciations
I'm
weren't
a strong,
mistranslated, right?
independent
Who
I
accreditates
don't
the translators, all right? Nobody. Nobody. I mean, I'm sure somebody does, but you know what, Daniel? You can take your negativity to Facebook,
you're not wrong.
Wheel of Time fans, all right?
Robert Jordan.
Facebook listeners. I was about to apologize,
I
or
wish
to
you had
soften
gone
the
ahead
blow.
and
But
told me to
holy
die in a
shit,
fire, because that would
Daniel
be
just
less
fucking
hurtful.
dropped a tactical nuke down the fucking manhole in the street that is Facebook Wheel of Time. look, all right, we have no hatred towards anyone.
Shade.
We have no hatred towards any Wheel of Time fans. It's just your reputation
It's
precedes
already
you
a nuclear
from us that
wasteland
main
there.
Twitter.
Why would
So,
I drop another one?
Consider it a Twitter and Facebook feud, not a Wheel of Time fandom feud.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure did.
That's right.
Did you just speak of social medias?
I was thinking more like along the lines of League of Legends, like back when I used to main Garen and everybody hated me because I mained Garen.
People who main Facebook are noobs.
It's just because they didn't. It's just because they didn't know how to play Garen. I'm sorry that you don't know how to counter Garen. It's not my fault. Blame the game mechanic.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
You mained Garen.
Noob.
That's like maining Hanzo. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll take it a
Hey,
step
man.
back.
It's for Demacia, so you can kiss my ass.
Oh, hey, I'm Garen. I'm going to come in and be like maining Fox on Super Smash Brothers Melee.
I'll throw it back. I'll throw it back even farther.
I'll
throw it back even farther.
For Blablathio.
Oh, fuck
Nintendo
yourself.
64, GoldenEye. My main was Boris.
I have a support ticket at work for a guy named Boris. That just
Eat it.
reminded me.
Eat it. Eat it.
Alan going?
Boris.
I am invincible.
I thought he was going to say it should be Alan going.
I still think Alan Cumming
I actually
should
don't know
be
who Alan Cumming
one
is.
of the Forsaken. I think he'd be a main. Yeah.
Alan
Nope.
Cumming.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Legends never die.
No, Alan Cumming should
Do you
be.
think that's the first time he's heard that joke? Because I bet that's the first time he's ever heard that joke.
I mean, legends never.
Hey,
heroes
dude.
get remembered, but legends never die. Daes Dae'mar, political maneuvering is absolutely amazing. I think that's one of the reasons why the Wheel of Time is set apart from other fantasy
By the way,
series,
guys,
because
the spoiler warning ended
Robert Jordan wrote
probably about 20 seconds ago.
whole battle
In case
sequences that
in case
were
you jump
nothing
forward and
but
you're rewinding
political
back about
maneuvering.
20 seconds ago, you're
The
safe. Just
Stone
listen
of
for
Tyr-
Josh to start talking and you're good. Yeah.
We It was a spoiler tangent, warning tangent.
It was.
So, but he wrote entire battles that were inspired by Daes Dae'mar, and what Andrew is referencing, which Andrew, you can go ahead and get into it, but it sets the foundation for things that Rand is able to do.
I mean, I'm assuming if you're listening now, you probably know. If you haven't,
I mean,
you need to go back and listen, because we did a whole episode on Tom and how scary Tom actually is on and off the physical battlefield. Like, picture your crazy uncle or grandpa, but take away the crazy and just make him OP. Like, if there is an OP character in Wheel of Time, it is fucking Tom.
Horny.
Because the motherfucker is scary as shit.
It's I agree. I stand.
Also, by the way, I just want to throw out there
DM Dungeons
that
and
I've
Dragons,
now been
so
in 3
if anybody's the oddball out,
different
it's Josh.
campaigns
Oh,
of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I just nerded the fuck out of myself. Yeah, no, I know that all of us here are nerds, but in 3 different... Sorry, I've played many more campaigns than that, but in 3 of them, someone, in one of them, me personally, have actually made bards modeled after Tom Maryland.
Nice.
At the point of the end of the campaign, one of them went all the way up to level 20, which for those of you who are plebeians and do not know the game, the max level that you can get to in the standard
level
game
20
is
mained
level
bard?
20. Still not as good as Tom Maryland.
I feel
Just
like you
throwing
can't
that
get
out.
close to
20
Tom
is
without
like God
multiclassing.
level. Like, oh my God.
It is. Still not as powerful as Tom Maryland. Yeah. Well, okay. No. So sorry. In that particular one, I was actually 12 levels of Bard and 8 levels of Rogue.
That
But
fits.
in
Shout out
another
to Daniel's
one,
sister,
my
who's a fan of the
sister,
books.
who has also
And
read the
for
books,
going straight Bard.
100% all the way up to level 18, mained Bard without multiclassing, and hers was closer than mine. She is.
You go, girl.
Shout out to any
was
family or
very
friends that
impressive.
we have.
And both of us
well,
looked at her
I'm gonna
character sheet
exclude
and
the
all of the
family, but if
different
you have
things
family
that she
that
had
are
done
fans
at
of the
the end of
series,
the
you're always
campaign and
welcome
went,
to
yep,
come in and chat a
Tom's
little
still
bit.
better. Anyway.
Hell yeah.
Indeed. But anyway, yeah, my thoughts on Daes Dae'mar are that it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard. It's wicked hard.
Wicked hard, but it's wicked easy at the same time.
No, it's wicked hard. Because again, think about the amount of maneuvering that was happening.
He has to veer in
There's
armor,
Rand,
so.
who has no idea what he's doing during the Great Hunt. And he stumbles into maybe being brilliant. But of course, it's all being completely moronic.
He looks
And
like a
the
moron,
people
but perhaps he is
around
intending
him
to look
going,
like a moron.
"Huh,
Or perhaps he is
looks
so
like
dumb that he
could
is
be a
pretending to
moron,
look dumb when he really
but
is dumb.
I can use it to play Daes Dae'mar. Well, and
Exactly.
that was literally that right there is literally the next thing that I was going to say is this is a constant Cold War. A game of Daes Dae'mar is a constant Cold War because you are sitting there on one side of it being like, all right, cool. I know the rules of Daes Dae'mar, if you will.
Yeah.
And if someone does this, then that means
Yes.
this. And if someone does this, then that means this. And those are the only 2 options. Oh,
JK.
wait. I know the rules and they know the rules. Now, if they do this, are they actually just following the rules? Or are they doing this to make me think that they're doing this when really they're doing this, but they're lulling me into a false sense of security by doing. And so now, given that the game of houses has been played for years and years and years and years and years, now you actually have to figure out what people are really doing, and knowing the rules of Daes Dae'mar does you very little help. It's just a constant reaction, hoping that you're right the whole way through.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That's where you get into. So when I started to say that Daes Dae'mar could be summed up in one word, ambiguity, that's like the first half of the Great Game of Houses, right? The second half or second facet of the Great Game of Houses is false ambiguity, right? Because you've got currents and subcurrents, and I need to know everything that everybody else is doing, and I need to analyze if they're doing that on purpose to fuck with me, or if they're doing that sincerely because it's what they're doing to try and, push their political agenda, or, what's happening exactly. And so following, it's a game of chess politically, where you're saying, I need to understand what my opponents are doing, but I also need to understand whether or not my opponents are faking me out, or
are doing what I think
being
they're doing.
sincere in their maneuvering right now.
Yes. No, and it's so hard. And to actually compare this to a real life situation right now, Donald Trump is Rand.
Oh my! You just set
he absolutely
a friggin' bomb off in everybody listening right now.
He is, because right at the beginning of his, campaign for politics, everybody was sitting there being like, ooh, is he a moron? Or is he actually a brilliant strategist where he's pretending to be a moron and actually he's so smart? Now, of course, we know that he was then and still is just a complete and utter moron. Now, I don't care about your politics. You can totally be a Republican and absolutely think that what's going on is
I'm a free American.
Great for you and your party. But you have to admit on some level that Donald Trump is just a political moron.
Or
he is not good at politics.
Or is he?
No, we have absolutely determined that he is not. He is not. He is a sheep herder from the Two Rivers whose dad gave him an $1 million loan and has no idea what he's doing in politics.
I mean,
that is just proven. That is provable facts. 100% true.
As soon as you think you know in the great game, that is when you lose, my friend. You are in danger of underestimating your opponent.
Yeah.
Maybe he's that good.
Yeah, no.
Okay. You ever think about that?
No. George W. Bush was that good. He pretended to be a moron when he actually had a law degree that he earned and was actually relatively smart with a relatively high IQ. Donald Trump is Randall Thor, and he just walks in and goes, all these letters can just go in the fire.
I know people. I know a lot of people.
I get the best letters. They're the best letters from the best people, and I just throw them all in the fire, including King Galdrian and Barthanes. Both of them are terrible people. I call Barthanes boring Barthanes, and Galdrian is god-awful Galdrian. Colivert, nasty woman.
Crazy
her.
Colivert.
Tried to get Crazy Colivert. Lock her up on a farm. Lock her up on a farm upstate.
Incredible.
I broke Josh, guys. my my life is complete.
Boring but Dennis.
But yeah, anyway, so again,
I'd be more concerned if we had an episode where we didn't break
Sleepy
Josh.
Joe
Like,
Butt
that's the
Dennis.
milestone for every episode. How quickly can we break Josh?
I can't.
I took over. I took the throne of Carrion, and I was going to give it to Elaine, but then I was like, I'm just going to grab her by the pussy.
And she let me because she likes me.
And when you're the dragon, they let you do it. And when you're the dragon, they let you do it because they're afraid of you. But yeah, no. Anyway, getting back to the actual Game of Houses, yeah, it really is kind of amazing just how much Rand gets away with in the Game of Houses, because again, it is that idea of sincerity is such a foreign concept that when Rand is being sincere, no one believes it. They're all thinking that he's brilliant, and he's not. Now, again, later on, he actually does learn things. He does get help from other people. And again, we won't necessarily go into how that works or what those things are or anything, because that is much later in the series. But as far as, you know, OG Rand, sheep herder Rand, who's just palling around fucking carrion, he's garbage at this game, but it's so ambiguous that he just ends up playing the shit out of Daes Dae'mar.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's I think that's probably the best way to sum it up right there, because then later on some other people show up and they're like,
he's totally one of those guys that are just like,
you've actually
dude, you did such a good job. And he's like, I mean,
to get this going. And he's like,
did.
Did I? Cool. I mean,
yeah, totally. Guys.
Totes.
Well, this is the part where when they film, the Wheel of Time series, like an Office mockumentary, Moraine and whatnot are going to get to Carrion, and they're going to stand there and be like, wow, Rand, you put us in such a good position. And he's going to look at the camera and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing
it really
but
well.
I know I'm doing it really
Parks and Rec. Oh my God. Hold on. That needs to be a meme. I'm making a meme of that right now. I'm putting that in the Dankwat memes in our Patreon.
I have no idea what Daes Dae'mar is, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
Wait, what's the name of that meme?
Sorry, Joshua.
Dude, okay, no, that is canon. That is canon now. Chris Pratt should be playing Randolph.
What's the name of that meme? I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really well.
Pratt. I would just put Chris Pratt Parks and Rec, and you will find it in the top 10 of images. And then you can look up the meme format. Anyway, but yeah, no, those are the Game of Houses is wackadoodle, and it's super fun to listen to and watch. And of course, again, I mean, we actually get another opportunity to watch somebody else
Daes
play
Dae'mar never stops.
Dae'mar. Now, it is a watered-down version of Daes Dae'mar because the game that the Carrion play and the game that the Andorrans play are very different. But there is definitely, right? But there is definitely a facet of Daes Dae'mar that Elaine ends up being very embroiled in later on.
For people like me,
well.
It's a relief during a future
probably
part
the biggest
of the series.
sort of political intrigue
but
section.
You'll have to read
and
to find
and
out
it's
if you
just
haven't
her
already.
playing Daes Dae'mar.
If you have read already,
what's going on?
If you have already read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So either way, we're all good.
You're gonna have to read and find out. Indeed.
We are all good.
We all good. But that being said, those are probably my final thoughts on Daes Dae'mar. That it's probably the dumbest game ever, but it's also fucking brilliant. Josh, what are your last thoughts on Daes Dae'mar?
My final thoughts on Daes Dae'mar is that, like I said, I think you could sum it up into two halves, which, I mean, Robert Jordan is all about two halves, right? Saidin, Saidar, Aes Sedai, Ashaman, men and women. Like he loves this idea of two halves to make a whole. And I love it. I think it's a fantastic, storytelling mechanism. And I think with Daes Dae'mar, it's no exception, because you have two halves of this. The first step or first half is ambiguity. And the second step is movement, total movement. You have to understand what's happening, where things are moving. I would say it's like a river. Some say Daes Dae'mar.
Oh, it's an undertow.
It is a river. It looks calm on the surface, but underneath it will sweep you away. And I think that's a perfect metaphor for Daes Dae'mar, because you think it's a calm river. You can just step into it. Cool. But the undercurrent, the undertow, it'll suck you up if you're
let's
not
see if I can pull
expecting
some
it.
expert
And that
analysis
is
out of my ass.
word on the matter.
I should be able to, right?
Andrew, what you got for us? What are
I know,
your
right?
final
This is like the
thoughts?
most use it has seen ever, other than resume fodder.
You can
Hey,
do
going
it.
to
I
college
believe
for 4
in you.
years takes some
this
kind of
is
commitment.
absolutely
Not to anybody
asking
you
a lot of your
love, but
poli-sci
to being
degree.
in debt. Which I'm not anymore. Hell yeah, for a couple of years. But anyway, do good in high school, kids. You get scholarships. Anyway,
But it's true.
again for the 5th time. Anyway,
It's true.
it's to me like it serves as just such a great example for how politics are.
Word.
Regardless of country you're in, regardless of a sphere of the world you're in or section of the world that you're in, politics is politics. It's just perceived differently. Different things are accepted based on culture, right? And we see some degree of the same kind of politicking in every government system we see in the Wheel of Time. It's just difference based on culture. How much can you bullshit the other person? How much can you make the other person believe that you're bullshitting when you're actually serious? How much can you make them believe you're serious when you're actually bullshitting? That's ultimately what Daes Dae'mar is. Can you make things that seem like nothing seem like something? It's a page out of Sun Tzu's Art of War put into a political stage. It's if Machiavelli adapted the Art of War into politics, you get Daes Dae'mar, or Daes Dae'mar, sorry. Yeah, you get the double D of WOT. This is how it works. And it's one of those
You
things that
get
it's going to depend
dead-ass
culturally on who
Dae'mar.
are the best players of it.
Dead-ass
obviously,
Dae'mar.
Tom is at least at face value off of what we
like it.
see, based off his backstory that we see in Eye of the World, into the Great Hunt. It's unavoidable that he should be a fantastic player of the Game of Houses based just off of what his job was and kind of the things he's done. Moraine as an Aes Sedai should be well versed in it, especially as a blue, and Rand accidentally stumbles his way through with the plot armor of Ta'Veren. That's not to take anything away from the books. I'm not making fun of the books at all. It's just a function of the plot device that is Ta'Veren. How do we explain something that happened that shouldn't have happened logically? Well, Ta'Veren, which is part of the elements of fantasy series. When all else fails, magic and mystical. I think it's incredibly intriguing to see the different people, both up through the end of the Great Hunt. Almost said the Gathering Hunt. What the fuck is wrong with? Well, I know a lot of what's wrong with me, but that's an even deeper hole. That's an even deeper hole than Daes Dae'mar. Yeah. Asking what's wrong with me is an even deeper hole than Daes Dae'mar. But it's one of those things that, like, I think you can just equally
Gathering
enjoy
Hunt.
it being somebody that studies
Welcome to the Gathering Hunt.
politics.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. No. Yeah, restart me, please. It's just, my common problem with speaking
Okay,
the
Andrew's
English
done for the
language.
night. Guys, Andrew is his
We're
tongue
gonna
is
turn
tied.
Andrew
Reboot and
off and
reload
turn
the
him back
pack.
on again.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, like, if you have an understanding of politics, if you follow politics and you're familiar with the political scene, you can
just need to
appreciate it.
Just patch
But even if you
in-
haven't, you can appreciate it
that's
in a
right.
different
It's all
way.
good.
I don't want to. It's nothing's on a different level. It's not like understanding it from a political perspective is any higher than your. I don't want to say average reader, but your reader that isn't into politics. It's just a different type of understanding and appreciation. I can just as easily logically follow the political maneuvering that happens and why it means what it means and why people think what they think, as I can forget everything I know about politics and enjoy it just as a regular reader that's just reading it as words on a page to see what happens and as much as you can glean from that. I think it's a fantastic mechanism in the series. I think it's a fantastic way to bring some realism and some familiarity for the readers. But all in all, at the end of the day, it's a game that they've given a name for just shit that they do normally that is as much luck-based, is as much RNG as it is intentional. As much as you can strategize an RNG game, that's pretty much what Daes Dae'mar is. So say we all. Kinda. Sounds good to me.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I love it. So say
So
we
shall it be
freaking
written?
all. So thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Black Tower Podcast, your weekly dose of madness. If you are listening to this, then you probably already know where we're hosted. We're hosted on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Google, all the biggies. You know where we are. If there's one that's easy for you, then listen to us there. If you would like, you can even listen to us on YouTube because we got a YouTube presence. We got big things coming in the future. Don't forget the What Fandom Bracket that is happening right meow. Okay, go vote. Make sure your voice is heard. What is our fandom name? We have narrowed it down to 8 from almost 100. It was like 98 or 99. You guys are awesome. We love you. And remember, all are welcome at the Black Tower. All are welcome. As the Lord Dragon has said, any man who can channel should be and will be associated with the Black Tower, and they may absolutely bring their families. You guys are always, all of you, welcome in the Black Tower. We are happy to have you. We are happy to have you tuned in with us tonight. We are happy that you're here. We're happy that you're happy. We hope you're happy. And do you guys have anything else, or are we signing this bad boy off?
I was actually gonna say happy
So,
one time.
two
but
quick-
I think
just
you
happy.
covered the
Happy.
number
Three quick things.
of happinesses
Three quick
that are
things.
actually
Happy.
quota allowed
If
in the episode.
you are
so,
an
yeah,
Omega
no,
fan-
I think you covered it.
So wait,
Omega
are we
listeners,
like right
I
at
just
the
want
border,
some
or how many do we have left?
dope-ass Black Tower Oshman inspired
Three quick
gear.
things. Hit it, Andrew.
Quick thing.
Take yourself on over to shop.spreadshirt.com/black-tower-podcast. If you don't want to type that in, just go to where we're hosted on Podbean, blacktowerpod.podbean.com, as Josh has already mentioned. There's a link for the merch shop there. Go and get yourself some amazing Black Tower podcast and Oshman inspired merch. If you're looking for merch, we already said this at the beginning, but we're going to give it a very short reminder at the end. Go check out tarvalentees.com, all one word. Use discount code
That's
Black
right.
Tower. That's BLACKTWR. Yeah, Black Tower. Use discount code Black Tower, as I spelled it out, for 15% off your orders on there to get some amazing
Black Twerp.
Wheel of Time inspired merch, especially if you want to get yourself, if you're an Aes Sedai, because you don't love us enough or you don't like us enough or because that's just how you are. No judgment here. Just saying. Indeed. But they've got some amazing accepted That's true. That's true.
No judgment.
Again,
No
even
judgment.
the
That's
Daes
just
Dae'mar
Some
are
dope
welcome
merch
at
over
the
there,
Black
like
Tower.
the
That's how
accepted
it do.
striped
We could
t-shirts
always-
I mean,
and a bunch of
how
other
are we-
amazing stuff.
How are
If
we
you
going to get orders?
are tuning in now
Exactly.
and
If
somehow
you don't
missed
order,
the
that's
entire
where it's
first
at.
part of it, go back and
Daes
listen to it.
Dae'mar
We
at
talk
the
about a
Black
lot
Tower.
of their merch. Go that. If you're somebody,
Hell yeah.
it's fantastic. I love it. If you're one of those fantastic people that you have $1, $4,
It's really amazing merch. I'm
something
just gonna
along
say-
those
throwing that
lines,
out there right now.
and you
It's
just you
freaking
don't
awesome.
really
These guys are great.
want physical stuff, at least not yet, in return for your investment. We do have a Patreon. You can look us up on there. There's also a link on our hosting website to go to our Patreon, where you can help support what we do at the Black Tower Podcast for a nominal donation. I'm not going to say fee, because it's all your choice. You're not being charged it for just being around and enjoying the podcast. It's something you're doing out of the kindness of your heart. We do post our pre-recordings there, so you can listen to that. And we are more than happy to have different discussions and different ideas and post stuff up there
The
as
Black
it
Tower
comes along and
Podcast.
apparent. But you can definitely go and check that stuff out, see if it's for you, and if it is, do not be afraid to throw a couple dollars to your fellow Wheel of Time fans, whether it's us or Tar Valentines or whatever have you. Support the creators, support the fandom in turn, because the fandom enjoys the content. And why not support content that the fandom enjoys? That's all I have for plugs.
Indeed.
Amen.
Yes,
Well
I would
spoken,
say
sir. That was
toss
nicely
a coin
put.
to your Witcher.
Toss a coin to
but-
Tar Valentines. They are
Yes.
so awesome. Oh
No. Okay. All right. If you had let me finish, I was going to say just go ahead and toss a coin to the witches. But okay, just
Shit
got to
happens,
go
yo. The
ahead
will
and
weaves as it
jump
wills,
in
bro.
with the song a little early. You have a problem with popping off early, don't
I
you,
do.
Joe?
So my wife says all the time.
Hey.
The wheel weaves
wheel
as the
weaves,
wheel
brah.
wills, brah. It's true. The wheel weaves, brah.
Hashtag deal with it.
The wheel weaves, brah.
But as my compatriots have already told you guys,
Josh beat it.
we love you. We want to see all the
I'm mad that
places.
we blamed
so
each
come
other
on
for that
down
shit.
and enjoy yourself. The water is warm at the Black Tower, mostly because
Because Andrew
use the
peed
power
in the
for
pool.
everything. Yeah, fucking Eben Hopwell.
God damn it, Evan.
He's like 8 years old, peeing in the pool. I don't know what the fuck.
And
you're
we're
doing.
out of
Anyway,
chlorine.
but, ladies and gentlemen, for all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been your banner leader,
Dragon,
your Amin Khan Mahale,
Dragon banner leader.
Daniel.
I have been your storm leader, your Tsorovan Mael, Josh.
And I have been your battle leader, your Bajan Mahal, Andrew.
And for all of us here at the Black Tower, we wish you a wonderful morning. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.